Hi weaving friends, long time no see. I've been sick for a little while, my whole family's been sick. Thank God we're all very much on the mend now, and so I'm slowly getting back into all the things that I love to do. What I'm working on here is my floor loom double width blanket class. This class will be out sometime in the near future. I still have quite a bit of work to do on it. But I thought while I was weaving here I could share a little tip for you if you're new to double width weaving on a floor loom. I am using 8 shafts. I'm weaving a 4 shaft pattern and weaving it double width. If you're interested in this class and you do have an 8 shaft loom, you can also do this on a table loom, no problems at all. The best thing to do if you haven't already is to get onto my mailing list, and I'm going to leave the link to that down below if you need it. Okay, so on to today's tip. What I want to talk about specifically today is the fold. My fold is on my left hand side, so I've got you set up on my left here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm just starting to weave my pattern. Now I think there's something that can be a bit confusing if you're new to double width weaving, and this was certainly the case for me. I started double width weaving on my rigid heddle loom and moved on later to doing it on my floor loom as well. But the same thing occurs, and that is that on the fold side you will have threads left out of certain picks. So when we're weaving a single layer, we're really used to the weft thread traveling around the outermost edge thread of the warp every single time. But you can see here, for example, just with this pick, that doesn't happen. And I'm here to tell you that that is normal, that is good, that is how it's meant to be. So I'll continue to weave onto the next couple of picks and continue to talk about it. So if you think about it, it makes total sense that your edge thread on the left, that is my fold side, would not be the same as a normal edge for single layer weaving. And why is that? That is because we have a fold is not a sharp edge, and it's the joining of 2 fabrics. So when you think about it, it does make total sense that you wouldn't just be catching every single warp thread, because what you're weaving is almost a dimensional rounded edge here, and the pattern is continuing to weave but at the same time joining those 2 layers of cloth. So it's going to have to be different somehow at least. And one of the ways that it's different is that you do not have the weft thread always traveling around the edge thread. I'll continue weaving here for a little bit just so that you can see a variety of sheds. You know, as I'm changing the sheds, the same thing is occurring, that the weft is not necessarily always traveling around all of the edge threads. For this particular pick it is, but that doesn't mean that it will for every single one. Okay. So we'll see if it does for this one. Treadle 2, going back in and organising that thread. And you can see once again I've got some warp threads left out of there. It feels wrong when you first start doing this, because you're like, well, you know, you're just so used to making sure that those edges are all encased. But yes, for the fold it's a different thing. Another reason that I wanted to come here today was to give you the opportunity, if you are interested in this class, to have a little bit of input, because it is still in the making stages. It gives you a little bit of time to offer suggestions if there's something specific that you would really like to see in this class, something that you find difficult or baffling about double width weaving, especially if you're using a 4 shaft draft on 8 shafts. Please do leave your questions, comments and suggestions down below. I would be very happy to hear them. The project for the class is going to be a lovely lap blanket, rather a large one, and the class also will be adaptable to your size of loom depending on what size you have. My Louet David here is 90 centimetre weaving width, but you might have a different width, and that's absolutely fine. It's easy to adapt. You can weave some really gorgeous 4-shaft patterns as double width, and you might be surprised that it's really not as difficult as you might think. Apologies for having such a short video today, but as I said, I'm still just easing back in, and I hope that I will see you again very soon. Until next time, happy weaving.